Coming up on this episode of Pursue the Adventure, I visited my childhood friend Luka, who is currently living in Medjugorje, which is a small village in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Medjugorje is the most visited religious shrine in all of the Balkans. I was lucky enough to be invited to stay with his family for a week, where I was shown all of the iconic sites in not just Medjugorje, but also the region of Herzegovina. I arrived to Ploče via bus, where he picked me up and drove me back to his village.
Welcome back, viewers. Right now we're in Ploče. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Ploče.
It's in Dalmatia, Croatia.
Dalmatia, Croatia. Came from Dubrovnik. Day for it. I can tell you the weather in Croatia a lot better than the weather in Sydney. We're here in Medjugorje, Herzegovina, and we are climbing Apparition Hill.
Okay, Apparition Hill is the site in 1981. 6 children in this village of Medjugorje in Herzegovina alleged to see the Mother of God, like Mary, and they said they saw her on this hill. They continue to say that they see her today, and I'm gonna take Sam to the spot of the first apparitions. After a 30-minute hike up Apparition Hill, we reached the summit with the statue of Our Lady overlooking the village of Medjugorje. Has her first message. So when she first appeared to the children, this is the first thing she said. She said, "Mir, mir, mir," which means peace, peace, peace. Between men, peace between men and God, peace between men and men.
Alright viewers, we just made it back down from Apparition Hill and we're heading to Castle. So we're going to check that out and walk back home and check back in when we're at the castle. That was one of the most beautiful castle, little courtyard garden that I've ever seen in my life. Just getting back from Dubrovnik, Old Town, that place was beautiful, but this was different vibe, very peaceful, tranquility would be the word I would use.
For sure.
We're about to climb Cross Mountain.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about it, Casey.
Small tradition that we have here is normally at the base of the mountain we pick up a stone or something, and at the top there's the cross with an altar, and we lay the stone on the altar, and the stone can represent anything you want it to represent. A lot of people make it represent their worries or their sins or something they want to offer to God. That's what they do here.
Alright, well let's pick up a stone and take it up to the top. And there we go. One big difference I've noticed about hiking in Herzegovina is that it's much more rocky. Makes the terrain on the track a bit more difficult to maneuver.
And more slippery as well, like especially in Medjugorje with thousands of pilgrims coming for the last 40 years, so the rocks are so polished from like shoes and...
Yeah, if you look at these rocks, they're not
so much here, more like...
nearly as rough or grippy as like rocks you would have on just general hiking tracks.
In 1933, the villagers of Medjugorje erected a concrete cross atop Cross Mountain to commemorate the 2000th year anniversary of Jesus' resurrection. Ever since that day, pilgrims from all over the world, numbering in the thousands, have come themselves to do the hike. kind of like a pyramid of stone.
Which hill?
See how those stones are built?
Yep.
Those are ancient Illyrian buildings or monuments. So they stretch over 2,000 years old. And the Illyrians were the Celtic people that inhabited this land. And throughout all of Bosnia and Herzegovina and all the Balkans, there's lots of Celtic ruins like this.
It was another successful mountain summit, and now we're just making our way back down to the bottom. Well, viewers, that concludes another hike. You can see in the background here, Cross Mountain, and now we're just walking back home for a well-earned rest.
The following day, we were picked up by Luka's cousin Marco, who is a tour guide in Herzegovina. He drove us around to some of the most iconic locations in Herzegovina, including Kravica Waterfall and the city of Mostar.
So now the next day, and we're heading down to Kravica, big waterfall here in Herzegovina. How far is it to the bottom, do you reckon?
5 minutes, man.
5 minutes, easy.
Yeah, down. This is here Kravica, this waterfall.
That's not it.
It's a Niagara Falls of Balkans.
Balkan Niagara Falls.
Cheap version.
Alright, the water's very cold and Luka's being a bit soft, so he's Is it cold?
Yeah.
It's chill.
For 10 marks, we rented a canoe for about half an hour. I would not recommend doing this, however, because all of the places you can go on the canoe are easily accessible by swimming. The only exception being the barrier surrounding the waterfall, where only boats are allowed to cross over. So in the canoe, we were able to get a lot closer to the waterfall than the other swimmers.
Back viewers, we're now in Mostar and we're being taken around by Marco. It's a bit of a tour guide here, so give us the spiel, mate.
So, what's up, guys? I'm a tour guide from a west side. Yeah, I do the rhyme like a Calvin Klein. Jiggle wiggle. This here, we are right now on the west side. So
on the west side,
this is like, it's not like a Gaza, it's not a West Bank, you know. Still, we have a separation between two sides. We have west and east Mostar. 1993, before 1993 it was Serbs only, the war. So they were attacking on these mountains up all the way, and there. You cannot see it from here, maybe when we go to the old bridge. Yeah, all the people from here, most of the Serbs, there were 25% of Serbians living in Mostar. After the war, they left. And then only stayed Croatians and Bosnian Muslims. Bosnian-Croatian war of 9 months, and after that Bosnians left to the east side, Croatians out to the west, and now this was destroyed, everything was destroyed, and now the end. Now we go to the old city, you will see the old bridge. This was the first that was built before the old bridge, and it was the only bridge that wasn't destroyed in the war because they could not reach it. So it's like the same as it was like for 500 years. So it was built 1558, maybe 8 years before the old bridge in Mostar, which was like the famous thing to see here.
To conclude my trip in Herzegovina with Luka, we visited a sky bridge overlooking the whole of Mostar. It was a really fun week being immersed in the culture of locals. You get a much more authentic experience of the country living with locals rather than staying in hostels where you only meet other travelers. Be sure to check out next week's episode where I'll be visiting Plitvice Lakes. This is probably one of the most beautiful national parks in the whole of Croatia. Stunning waterfalls and pristine turquoise coloured water. See ya on the next adventure.